Hey folks, welcome back, or welcome, either way. Glad you're here. If it's your first or your however manyth, I have no idea how many videos I've posted thus far. This is Art of Cycling. I'm Greg Leach. And of course, at this time of year, we are doing cycling. I actually don't really have time to get any other work done in the studio. But because it's Tour de France time. This is stage 11, so more likely than not, you're well aware that it's Tour de France time. So today we've got most of the climbs, the mountaintops at the end of the stage. Breakaway got away early, but for some reason, the peloton just isn't letting them go. The commentators, the team on NBC, have all been sort of going, why are they doing this? It's actually been kind of amusing listening to them argue about what could or could not be the reasoning for what the Yellow Jerseys team, UAE, yellow jersey being on the shoulders of Tadej Pogačar. Took me forever to learn how to say his name. Because it looks like Podokar. But nevertheless, where was I? So what they've been chasing hard, and they've not let this breakaway get more than, well, right now I believe they're at closing back in on 2 minutes, going back up a little bit. So maybe they've said, well, okay. We've got them in hand. So the one of the rules is when the gap gets down to a minute or less, they pull all the following vehicles out of the gap. So a couple of the riders in the break, this is Lapierre, I forget how you pronounce it, but the current French national champion. He is just dropped back to his team car to grab a bottle and probably get a little word of advice on, like, how close are they closing? Are they really chasing us? Are they going to let us go? Because none of these guys, what's curious, and this is why the discussion, none of the people here will have any effect on the destination of the yellow jersey. It's not like the guy in third or fourth or 10th place even are up here. So then it begs kind of the choice, why are they bothering to expend so much energy to chase this down? Now, that being said, they've got the climb they're just starting, another really big climb, and then one more climb. Again, here's the point. Why are you chasing now? Before they actually hit a bonus climb where, the first guy over gets an extra 8 seconds. But that's another part of it. It's like, all right, that doesn't make sense. One of these numbers has to be wrong. All right, well, I'm not going to, here, just make it illegible. So the teams are all numbered by team. So this guy is on decathlon, AG2R La Mondiale, but he's the French champion, so he wears the French flag jersey. But all 8 of the team numbers, so the leaders has the 1 on the end of his number. So in this case, 50, he'd be 51. But what I'm seeing is this guy right up here in front of him, who rides on a different team, appears to be wearing jersey number 52. And it can't be, I'm reading wrong, it's 152, unless, no, and it can't be 252. So anyway, they all have, so it's the leader on the team is, well, in the case of the leaders, the last year's winner, his number is 1, and so his rest of his team are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the guy who came in second last year, then would be number 11. And that, of course, is the current leader, Tadej Pogacar. And he is, I'm just digging myself into a hole here with team numbers. That's not Bernard. So right now I'm looking, I have a little cheat sheet of the bib numbers of everybody. All right, Cofidis are in the 140s. Yeah, this is all screwed up. Oh, it's Guillaume, so that's 141. Okay, so this is, so here, like here's a 141. This is Guillaume Martin, who is a big hope for French cycling. It just hasn't quite materialized. They were just discussing on air the how long it's been since the French have won the final yellow jersey in the Tour de France. And it's 39 years as of this race, which is a ridiculously long time to not win your own home race. So, or as Bob Roll put it, it'll be 40 years next year, because he didn't want to do the math, or decided to do the math, however you want to look at it. So this is a group of 9 that took a long time to get off. They were on the second climb before the gap established itself. And they are all, oh, I just realized the point I was trying to make that I lost. So that gap, so once it gets down to less than a minute, so that it's a little clearer, and there's not cars in there helping the chasers catch the leaders, they will pull out the following cars. So your team car that's been behind you for a while is about to disappear. And so, what not a better time to grab a water bottle and a last piece of advice, whatever, from your team car before it suddenly disappears. And so that's what's going on right here. Call it the Last Chance Saloon. All you Western movie fans will get that. And the saloon reference, of course, is like getting the drink. And it's close to the last chance for these guys to get a drink. Now, there's another part of the rule where you can no longer get any assistance from your team in terms of support staff after inside of 20 kilometers to go, unless there's a special ruling that says, yeah, it's really hot, or stage has been really hard, or whatever. And then that extends closer to the line. Because as things really ramp up, they don't want team cars trying to go in and out. They're trying to even the playing field. Again, because the following cars create drafting opportunities. I've talked about that earlier with the piece I did of Mark Cavendish called Arguing His Case. So, these guys are getting that last chance to grab a bottle from their team car and get on with the job at hand. So I'm just looking to make sure I got all of everybody's limbs, as it were. Now, of course, I love the French jersey, the tri-colore, and most of the teams this year have done very well with the national champions jerseys. UAE is probably one of the worst at that. But they don't have a national jersey on their team, so not quite as important as it was in previous incarnations. But then again, their Slovenian champion was regularly in the white jersey very early on, so he never wore his race jersey. There was a thing with Peter Sagan and how few stages of the tour he actually raced in his team's kit, because he would be, most often he was the Slovakian champion, so he raced in that jersey rather than his team kit. Or he would take hold of the green jersey, the sprinter's jersey, very early on and hold it for the entire tour. So again, never in his regular team kit because he was wearing the green jersey. I just saw, of course, a limb right there that I forgot to paint flesh tone, so I'll have to come back and get that later. So now I'm just going through and hitting all the blues before I shift over and get the next colors. And I'll just wait and get that flesh tone when I get my brush good and clean at the end. Do, 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 do. And of course, it's been a big thing this year. Seems like everybody wants to race in blue. There was a period. And then Visma had to change out of its primarily yellow kit. So they ended up picking a pretty much blue jersey as well. And it's like, really? You could have picked any color. And you knew what everybody else's kit colors were. And you still went with blue. And so there was a period where the commentators were confusing Visma and then Bora, which has a very dark blue, blackish kit. Oh, I also missed somebody's neck. So I think I'll stop now and go back and get the flesh. And it's just, yeah, it gets to the point where you really can't. The kits are so similar, particularly from the helicopter shots, that you just don't know who's who. It's like, surely they talk to each other. And then another obscure rule is a team is only allowed to change its kit once. So when Tade won a couple of years back, or Sky would do this where they would change whatever stripe they had on their kit from whatever color it was to the yellow of the leaders. So Sky for the longest time had a bright blue strip down its back. That was their kit. And the colors around that changed. So for the tour, when they won it on the last day, they would change that stripe to a bright yellow. It's a nice look. And then, of course, their car had that same stripe down it, and so the car would also have that color. And they've done other things along those lines, and other teams have as well. So, you get a little, there's some fun, some marketing. It's also great if, you can sell an extra jersey or t-shirt souvenir to somebody because, well, I want that special winning one too. All right, so I've sort of hit everything but the blacks on these outfits. So now I'm going to switch over and go to the green along the side of the road, or the grass along the side of the road, because it's not all green. And then now we'll get a darker, so that's like the, and actually since I've got it pretty dark, almost mixed up here, get the shade up under these trees along the edge of the wood line at the side of the road. And all of this helps convey, so like, see with these lines in here, it gives a little more action to the piece than it would have without them. So again, when you're picking your image, look on how it can be more dynamic. And obviously, diagonal converging lines imply more motion and movement and depth than non-converging horizontal lines. So, sorry, phone call I can deal with later. In fact, lines that don't ever converge don't imply any perspective at all. All right. So now we're going to just go in here and start getting these blacks. And this team car, as near as I can tell from the image, is all dark. And what I'll do is, like, I'm laying in this first coat, and then as that dries a little bit, I can come back and darken it up. And so I'll just move on to the next area. And so the reason, like, as you notice, these are getting a little, the color's not that saturate, and that's just the more or less pigment. So of course, without picking up any more water, mix up more pigment. But there's this delicate little balancing act, because if you don't have enough water, then it doesn't flow off the brush, quite literally. So that's the thing with watercolors, and it's a touch and feel thing. It's something you have to learn over time. It's taken me a long time. I actually had someone order a painting from 2013, so I was pulling out. In 2013 was only, like 2012 was when I started doing this, but I was about halfway through the tour, probably about this point in the tour, when my brilliant wife suggested that I actually paint the race and see if we could sell them. So then the first time I painted a race in full, and for some reason I had the opportunity / time to paint the Giro d'Italia. So they bought one of Cavendish. So let that sink in for a moment. Cavendish, who won his 35th stage earlier in this Tour de France, was racing in 2013, 11 years ago. I think he started racing in, like he was a neo-pro in 2010, if I remember correctly. He's been racing for 14 years. It's a rare feat in any sport, but in an endurance sport, that's particularly astounding. and to race at a high enough level to actually win a stage here in the tour. Sagana, I think it was around for about 10 years. So that's this piece. Of course, all of these get, actually I see a little thing, all of these get posted on my blog, theartofcycling.blogspot.com. When you're there, in each painting there's a link to my website where they're available for purchase. And they are in a first come, first serve. And my website is gregleach.com. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. And subscribe so you can get all the Tour de France stuff as it pops up. And then the Saturday after the tour ends, the Olympics competition begin. The Olympic broadcasts actually start the night before with the ceremonial stuff. But thank you for, so I'll be painting both of those as well. So again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be back.